Because some of these insurers have insured a lot of that stuff, it's reckoned about $90 billion worth, there is a fear that they're going to have to pay a lot of money to compensate for all the defaults.
What's the worst case scenario here?
Well, the worst case scenario is that several of these big bond issuers could go bust. Then many more bond issuers, perhaps even American municipal bonds, could fall in value as a result. And we possibly then see, and this is the worst case scenario, pension funds and other investors dumping these previously AAA rated bonds on the market. And indeed, there are some commentators on this side of the Atlantic are saying this is the second shoe of the credit crisis about to drop, and it could be far worse than the first.
All right, Stephen Beer in London, thank you.
Okay, Phil.
All right, well, there's the doom and gloom economically. Good morning, bloggers. It's Wednesday, November 7th, and I come to you on this, the day 12 years ago that Something to Remember was released, and I didn't have school that day. I think it might have been election day or something. It must have been. And I took the bus to the South Shore Mall in Bayshore, Long Island, to buy not one copy of the tape of Something to Remember, but two copies, one for me and one for Jason Kropp. And so I rode the bus home, and I got off by our high school where he lived, so I could stop by at his house and drop the tape off to him. We had become friends at that point, and I said to him that there was no other experience in the world like having Madonna on the day she is released. So I bought him a copy of this tape, and when I went to his house, he was running around the track at school because he was planning to run a marathon, the New York City Marathon, and so he was training, he said. I'll never forget it. Anyway, the doom and gloom economically is so preposterous to me because I mean, there's a certain sense in which most things economically don't necessarily affect individuals in this country, it seems. Like, I mean, for those who have, like, money in the stock market, I'm sure these things are very problematic for them. But for those of us like me who don't have money in the stock market, it doesn't mean a damn thing to me. But what is remarkable is that what does matter to me is I'm a traveler. And so it does matter to me that a dollar is worth 1.45 euro. It's insanity. That's what the exchange rate was in London when I went 5 years ago. What was 152? No, it was 147. It was 147 when I went the first time. So it's crazy. It's got to be like 2.25 or something for a pound. It's absurd. And that they don't think that that's a problem. Oh, it's better if the dollar is weaker because then people will buy our goods because they're cheaper. No one is buying our goods because we have no manufacturing here because we've moved it all away. So the only thing that we're even trying to sell, it seems, is corn syrup, which they don't really buy in Europe, and ethanol, which, as far as I understand it, is being stockpiled and they're not knowing what to do with it because people are not buying it the way they thought they would. And things just get more and more expensive, and people make less and less money. Last night on the Ed Schultz show, they were talking about immigration and what to do about it. And I wanted to scream. Because, you know, when I listen to talk radio, I think that's why I like to listen to it. I want to scream. And so, I mean, Ed, I feel, was making the case that maybe the people should pay a fine or something, but really, they're here, they've made lives here, let's get over it. Which, I don't even think they should pay a fine. Who gives a damn? Oh, citizenship, what does it mean? It means nothing if the people are already living here. Who gives a shit? Oh, when they're older, we'll have to pay them Social Security. When they're older, there won't be Social Security anymore. Or maybe you could have that stipulation that unless they pay a certain amount of money, they don't get it. Who cares? I mean, not that one should be making a second-class citizen, but if there's a way, I mean, if there's a method to move from being the second-class second-class citizen to being a regular citizen, then that would make sense. But for everybody else, let's just get over it. So that their kids can go to college, for God's sake. Oh, I get so angry. It's just my students, some of them so brilliant, and I don't know what to tell them. They can't get a job, they can't get a driver's license, they can't go to college. What the hell are they supposed to do? They didn't choose to come here when they're 2 years old. Oh, illegal immigrants, blah, blah, blah. They're just coming here for the money. Well, that's why your parents fucking came here. Sorry, I'm just angry. Anyway, today I'm going on a field trip, so I don't have to teach. All things good. All things good. We've been watching The Hours, but I don't have time to talk about it. I've run out of hours. But you should know that it is just brilliant. If you've seen it before, you should see it again. If you've read the book before, you should read it again. It's so wonderful. The Hours by Michael Cunningham. Take care. Enjoy your day. Oh, there's a school bus. Maybe it's the one that will take me to my field trip.